On today's Hashi, I'm discussing the March house price indices from S&P, CoreLogic, Case-Shiller, and FHFA, as well as mortgage applications for the past week. Today is Wednesday, May 28, 2025. I am Byron Lazine, and the Hashi starts now. Good morning, live from Naples, Florida. Let me know in the live chat which market you are tuning in live from. Let's connect better together in the live chat. I'm seeing inside of BAMX, referrals are happening inside of school for BAMX members. Good opportunity here for real estate professionals on the hot sheet to make those same connections. We learn better together. We connect better together, and love seeing you guys in the chat. Good morning to Brad. Good morning to Jason coming to BAM Camp. That was released to BAMX members. I don't think we've actually released BAM Camp publicly, but BAM Camp, not BAM Mania, okay, but BAM Camp, Arizona, happening in September. There's information inside of school about that. First access for BAMX members. All right. We got access now to Case-Shiller data. Case-Shiller is the industry standard, the gold standard on home prices. And inside of this data, there's something very unique. This is the March 2025 results. I get it, where it's going to be June this weekend. In March seems a little outdated, but that's the way Case-Shiller works. It's rear view mirror data. It's reminiscent of the Fed, very much rear view mirror data when they're looking at shelter data. And so it's got to be accurate because they've been waiting around for so long to bring us this data. But there's something woven into this March data that we need to be aware of. That certainly speaks to the next 6 months when it comes to pricing. We talked about this yesterday inside of the BAMX members only role play. Yesterday, right before the hot sheet, we did the members only role play. We're doing it Tuesdays, all of May, all of June. We're going to be doing every Tuesday. Inside your school calendar for BAMX members, you get access to that. But we were talking about future pacing pricing conversations. Okay, the numbers that you're seeing right now in the market are reflective of 2 months ago. And the prices that we're going to see 2 months from today are reflective of activity today. And boy, I got to tell you, the next 6 months, you're going to see some dynamics changing on price. And if you're meeting with sellers, your ability to get ahead of that, to move where the market's going now in real time is everything. So you don't mislead sellers. So you price properties accordingly. So you're not waiting on the market too long and costing your sellers a percentage or two or multiple percentage on the price of their home. I'll show you where that data woven in to some of the headline numbers seem fine, okay, seem normal here on Case-Shiller. But I'll show you something inside the fabric of the March numbers that is going to indicate a softer pricing market over the next 6 months. All right, headline reads, S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller has a 3.4% annual gain in March. Okay, 3.4%, normal, seems fine. No issues there. I think we'll take 3.4% gains annualized year over year. Compound that out for 10 years, 12 years, the homeowner tenure. It's why we talk about real estate going up and to the right on home price appreciation. If you're going to be there 10 or 12 years, can't really lose. Look at the last 4 decades. You're a winner in each of the last 4 decades. Okay, 3.4% gain in March 25, annual gain. It's a slight decrease from February. We've seen this slight decrease happening now for a number of months. That home price appreciation isn't rapidly moving up as it once was. Still appreciating. 3.4 is an appreciation, but it's not an appreciation of 4, 4.5. Some of these numbers that we've seen previously. Okay. They've got 9 U.S. Census divisions that they cover. When you Take the totality, it's a 3.4% gain. It's down from 4% the previous month. Okay. If we look at their 9 U.S. Census divisions and take the top 10 city composite, that's up an annual increase of 4.8%, which is also down from 5.2. The 20 cities up 4.1. So cities doing better than the national number, but that's also down from 4.5. Okay. So when you're looking at the cities, the 10 city, the 20 city performing a little bit better than the whole, the U.S. national number, which came in at 3.4. Okay. Here are some of the cities that stand out as big gain. Chicago up 6.5% on the 1 year change. That's in the tops. Cleveland at 5.9. New York, the top, 7.96, continuing to be the top city. Tampa continues to move further into the negatives. Hey, Florida's been in correction mode. I got news for you. I'm sitting in, I'm here. I'm in Southwest. It's going to get softer in Southwest Florida throughout the rest of the year. Okay. The pricing corrections that we've been faced with, Sunbelt states, Florida, these types of areas, going to get more severe the second half of the year. Tampa right now coming in at a 1 year change of negative 2.16. Number's going to swell. World's not over. Sky's not falling. The number's just going to get bigger. That's all. You're up 40, 50, 60, 70% in some of these areas the last few years. Okay. You're not going to have as many sprinkles and cherries on top of the sundae. You're taking some off the top. That's it. Okay. Look at San Francisco still in the positives, getting smaller. Dallas is just barely hanging on, essentially flat at 0.19%. Okay, there's some of the city highlights. Where's this data that I'm referring to that's going to indicate a softer market? All right. Let's move over to X, take a look at Lance, friend of Knowledge Brokers podcast. Obviously, we've had him on a couple times over there. He breaks it down for us. Okay, since March 2020, up 52.3% nationally. Okay, so since March 2020, some of these where you're seeing 2% down in Tampa, and Tampa's number is higher than that. It's not sky's falling. Okay, a cloud's not going to come down and bonk you in the head. We're fine. Since the 2022 peak, we're still up 6.3%. Okay, nationally. If you look at month-over-month shifts in prices since 1990, you have a lot of positive. Okay, you have some months in there during the mortgage crisis that went red. And other than that, the majority of it's positive or basically flat. I don't consider 0.3% down in November of 91 really negative. I consider that moving sideways. Okay. We have the financial crisis correction. Other than that, we're talking 35 years of positive month-over-month shifts up in U.S. home prices. Okay. That's where we've been. Today, you've got year-over-year rate of national home price growth, which is decelerating. Okay, we're about to get into FHFA, 3.9 to 3.8. We're seeing Case-Shiller, 3.9 all the way down to 3.4. Okay, so we're still growing on home price appreciation, but it is decelerating. Zillow's in that camp. Freddie Mac's in that camp. Everybody's in the same camp. Okay. Now here's the context. While not seasonally adjusted, Case-Shiller month over month positive 0.8% up. The seasonally adjusted month over month print is 0.3% to the negative. Okay. The seasonally adjusted month over month print on Case-Shiller is negative. Now, outside of the 2022 correction, when we saw interest rates pop, and 2012 error, this is the first time that we've seen seasonally adjusted negatives for Case-Shiller data. Here's the chart going back to 1990. Here's where we are on seasonally adjusted month over month, that negative 0.3%. We saw it in 22 for a period of months as interest rates skyrocketed up due to the Fed's increases to fight inflation. And we saw it during the mortgage crisis recovery. We haven't seen it in any other months going back to 1990 outside of these windows. So that's not nothing. It's something. It was short-lived in 22. It's happening now. It's not nothing. It's something. And what I know it, the something that we know it is, outside of a 1% decrease on the 30-year fix, which seems far away at best, seems not likely in the near future. Outside of that, we're going to see a softening on price in the last 6 months. We have a seasonal softening on price, okay? Like the prices get softer from here every year. Well, you want to go back, we're going back to data on 1990. We can go back to data on 1990. In the second half of every single year, COVID was a little bit different because the second half of the year was kind of the spring market. Got it. But any normal basic year, prices go down the second half of the year. People ask me, when's the best time to sell? March, April. Why do you think Realtor.com is the same report? Rinse and repeat. Let's publish the same report. Best time to sell your house. It always lands in April or right around there. Might be a variation on week due to holidays and some calendar adjustments and whatever. But the best time to sell is not in June when everything's green, when most sellers think it is. I'm going to wait. I'm going to delay. I want my flowers to bloom. It already happened. The best time to sell is behind us. Okay. Prices are even soft. Look at Dylan's comment. We're in the Northeast. We're in central Massachusetts. This is one of the lowest inventory markets in the country. Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey. The Northeast has been particularly tight on inventory and already seeing prices soft. Hey, Southwest Florida, Sunbelt states, they're saying, Dylan, welcome to the party. We're about to leave because we've had too much to drink. That's what they're saying. Hey, listen, the party is extended. Prices will be soft over the next 6 months. Outside of a real dip on the 30-year fixed, that's just where we're heading. So this is what Lance says. Unless something material shifts, material would be interest rates. The seasonal window is soft. Regional markets have been showing flashes of correction mode. Even some of the tightest pockets, Northeast, Midwest. Okay. You're going to see a softening on price on a move forward basis outside of some type of big material change. That's the reality, and that's the real conversation that needs to be had with sellers right now. Got to future pace this market. If you're in a market where you've already had correction, can it get any worse? It can get softer. Take worse out of your vocabulary. The market that we're in right now can get softer. Here's how it can get softer. Explain that to your sellers and get them prepared to beat what is happening. All right. Let's move over to FHFA quickly. U.S. home prices, according to their data, up 4% versus the 3.4 that we saw from Case-Shiller. So 4% on a year over year. That's up 0.7% from the fourth quarter of 2024, according to FHFA March's report. Okay. They've got it down 0.1% from February on seasonally adjusted. It was down 0.3% on the Case-Shiller data. Again, I mean, since 22, we haven't seen seasonally adjusted monthly index. And this is rear view mirror data. So do we see more of this coming? Yeah, potentially. House prices rose in 49 states and DC between the first quarter and the first quarter of 25, so year over year. Highest annual appreciation, Roadies, Rhode Island, 11.4%. Make Rhode Island, Connecticut. That's what I would say. West Virginia, 9.3%. Connecticut, 9%. Ohio, 7.6%. Wyoming, 7.4%. On the decline, you saw Hawaii, 2.2%. House prices up in 89 of the 100 largest metropolitan areas over the previous 4 quarters. The annual price increase was greatest in Newark. So regions, not states. Newark, 11.6%. Lakeland, Winter Haven, Florida was the most significant decline that FHFA saw, and that was in at 9%. Okay. So you've got, as Lance likes to put it, a bifurcation going across. Different markets are responding differently. There is a consensus on this monthly data that as we move forward, as we take a look over the last 6 months and you consider normal seasonal trends, we probably are getting into a time period where, yeah, prices are going to get softer. Demand always declines during this time of year. The conversation's prepping seller. Hey, you waited till June. Here we are. You need to sell. Here's how to get ahead of a soft market. Here's how to price for the next 30 days, not 300 days ago, not 60 days ago. Okay. Important conversations to have. BAMX members, jump into school. Go to your hot sheet tab, and some of the data here, you know, they don't want to list on 60 days ago pricing when they're at the beginning of what could be multiple months of red. Drop those in there for you so they can say, hey, when it happened in 22, it was multiple months in a row. We're now seeing it for the first time since then. You know, you typically see more months follow, okay, on this stuff. So all those charts are in there, including the FHFA charts. We're seeing home price appreciation get softer. There was only one place from the 18.3% peak in quarter 1 of 22 for it to go. Now we're down to 4%. That's the lowest number we've seen in the last 10 years. Okay, this goes back to 2015, quarter 1. These are all quarter 1s. This is the smallest quarter 1 home price appreciation we've seen in 10 plus years. And home price appreciation, it's getting smaller. It's moving down. All the charts show it. Here's 4-quarter home price change by state. Look at Florida, about to go negatives as a state, 0.1%. Again, Northeast, Midwest, a little bit tighter. You see the softening here in some of these Texas, California, Oregon, you know, some of the West, Sun Belt, and you see the tightest markets in the Northeast. But this is rear view mirror data. If we look at what's happening now and some of these indications, some of the soft data of what's going to happen in the future, these numbers get smaller as we move through the next 6 months of the year. But if I'm a buyer right now, good news is I'm buying on 12-year time frames. Real estate goes up and to the right. Take me back to 91 and look at where real estate's gone. Take me back to 91 for other reasons as well. All right, all those charts available for you inside of school for BAMX members. Here's your comparison for regions. The U.S. 6.8% a year ago when you look at March 2023 to March 2024 versus the 3.7 now. Every region shows a similar scenario here on the bar graph. All right, there's FHFA's update in line with what we're seeing. Case-Shiller, softer on pricing ahead. One of those reasons would be just general demand. Last 7 days, mortgage applications decreased 1.2%. This is really driven by refinances. We're not concerned about the refinances all that much. The seasonally adjusted purchase index actually increased from a week earlier. So, you should say demand should be up. Increased 3% from a week earlier and up 18% from the same week a year ago. That shows us that, hey, the future's bright. We're not going to completely fall off the cliff here on transactions. We're already in the basement. Looked at it yesterday, 4 million existing home sales. But we should be able to hold the floor. We're not going to create a new floor. Still, demand, though, trending towards 1995 levels. Only saw it this low during 95, during the 2012, 2010, 11, 12, 13, during the recovery stages of the great financial crisis. Other than that, lowest levels on demand. We're not going to see demand have a huge uptick, mortgage demand, that is, till we see these rates come down. Future on that is very uncertain. I am hearing at least some pushback from the Senate on this crazy bill. That's encouraging. It's encouraging if they can make change. I don't know that there's going to be change made. The bill that we're on right now, like that we just kind of extended, is continued basically previous administration's spending. That's not good. This new bill is same spending or more on different, whatever. It's all the same crap. It's too much spending. If we can get some type of 51 vote agreement in Senate that reduces spending, that'll be good for the bond market. Anything that increases spending or keeps it at, previous levels, which is kind of where we're at, keeping spending at previous levels, is really bad for the bond market. Okay. Right now we're sitting at 4.475, a little bit of an improvement here over the last couple of days based on that EU deal, but not great. 4.477 on the 10-year highest point we've seen, really, generally speaking, in the last 90 days. And that is certainly keeping us at an inflated near 7% on the 30-year fixed. Dropped under 7 yesterday to 6.97. So that's where we're at here, middle of the week, 21 days away from the next Fed meeting. CME Group has the Fed doing nothing in terms of cutting the rate, holding firm. All right, today, 3 o'clock for BAMX members inside of school, doing a Zoom call with myself and Bobby. We're going to be talking about the simple formula to build your YouTube channel. So if you want the formula that we're using, and we're breaking that formula down to speak to your local audience for your YouTube channel, your YouTube audience, growing your YouTube channel, building it out in a consistent way. BAMX members, we've got that for you. Obviously, for BAMX members, it's a it's not a webinar. It's a Zoom call, so we get to interact together. That'll be today at 3 o'clock. BAMX members only. Just find your calendar inside of school calendar, and here you go for your weekly YouTube content formula. Myself, Bobby Kowecki, head of video at BAM, breaking that down today, 3 o'clock. School.com/BAMX if you want, obviously, access to that. All right. There you go. There's your hot sheet. Share the hot sheet with someone who could benefit from a 24-hour look back on housing. We're the only people on the internet that do this for the real estate professionals. If we're bringing you value, best way to support what we're doing on YouTube is subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when we put these out. And I'll see those of you BAMX members that are joining us at 3 o'clock inside the office hours. For the rest of you, I'll see you tomorrow's hot sheet. Until then, of course, toodaloo.